thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of Dr. Jason, Dr. Bo, and myself, thank you so much for being a part of the first Chiro AI Summit. We have heard universally good feedback from registrants. Over 800 docs registered. We have over 150 VIPs register. Additionally, we had well over 20 speakers, as everybody knows. Thank you. Thanks for being a part of it. We hope that you learned a lot about how AI is coming into chiropractic, how some of the leading brands, organizations, products, and services are bringing AI in to make their products and services better, and also to make your life easier as a practicing doc, seeing people each and every day. So we're going to have a bunch of people. I see a bunch of people hopping in here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have questions, please feel free to open up the chat, as I said earlier. And additionally, as we ask for feedback, we'd love your feedback, because that's what this is all about, an opportunity to hang and highlight what we all learned, where we're going to go next, and also just ensure that you're super happy. So, Bo, I'm going to kick it over to you. Thank you so much for being a co-host. You did a bang-up job behind the scenes, making sure we were on task and on track. So we'll make sure everybody hears that. How was it for you?
Oh, wow. So I guess the first thing to start with this is saying thank you to everyone that signed up and participated. Honestly, when the three of us sat down, we were like, I don't know how this is going to go. We really never have done first off, a large summit like this inside chiropractic. And then secondly, as Jason always talks about, is a AI tech showcase. Many of us go to Parker's, we go to different seminars, we speak at lots of seminars, and we never really give the vendors, the people that have the products and services, the floor to basically say, hey, come and tell me why I, as a practicing doctor, should buy your products and services. And really, that was the premise when we started this, was how do we merge an AI voice, because we know AI is this new thing in chiropractic, with all of the amazing products and services that are out there. And then how do we provide a platform for everyone to come and to evaluate not only maybe things that you're looking at, but I'll be honest with you, like I learned things about some of the products that I currently use in my practice that I had no idea even existed. Like I work closely with ChiroTouch, and I was watching the presentation. I'm like, wow, that's, I didn't know that. And then like with Joe Ferratelli, he's showing me all this new stuff he's doing with his posture code. I'm like, dude, why didn't you tell me that? Like, I'm your guy, you know, like, so I felt like that was an amazing opportunity. And I hope that other doctors, when they were coming on this and evaluating this, they had the same sort of feeling. We wanted to provide a very low, how do I say this, low pressure sales environment, but also an opportunity for you to really grasp who are the leaders in the space, what are they doing right now, and we all know that we practice differently. So what tools and products best serve me and my practice? Because what may be great to me may not fit for Jeff or for Jason. And I really feel like, I would hope that, I love your guys' feedback, did we do a good job with that? You know, I think as we kind of move forward this, I'm curious from Jason and Jeff kick in here, like what was maybe like the one theme or the one overriding thing that like struck you as far as like the AI, like, wow, this really kind of hit me that maybe I didn't even expect before I started doing these interviews.
I'll go first on that one. Hi, everyone. That's a great question. There were quite a few that actually I had aha moments. I watched almost all of them. I will admit I didn't watch every single one. I watched almost all of them. I'm glad I'm VIP because I will watch all of them. But there were a few of them that really blew my mind. I'll start with my good friend Guy Reekman and his MLIQ program. Just the amount of AI that went into the video production itself might have gotten an award for anybody on our panel because it was awesome. I mean, just that creation, let alone obviously what he talked about. If you haven't watched it, I won't repeat it. Watch it. It was, I think, phenomenal. A second one that stood out for me was Dane Donahue's program, where they're using AI. And one of the things I think is a common theme whenever the conversation of AI comes up is, what's the use case? Like AI can be anything and everything, but it needs to be something. And what he did was a really great job because in the use case is train for your day one, day two. That's what it does. It's something you can wrap your brain around and go, I get it. I'll use it to do that. Bo, I'll add your system to the list. I mean, I watched your video. I watched you go through the genius of the coach and then the other coaches and then the accountability. And I read something just even today that basically in healthcare, this makes very little sense to most of us. I'll say our generation. But there was this statistic that said that younger people, in fact, prefer to have a health professional that's an AI conversation than even all of, I don't know if it's the anxiety or what prevents people from wanting to work with people. But there's a trend for people wanting to work more with AI. But I think you're hitting the right, dating at the right time with, you're going to reinvent coaching with that. I could go on and on and on. Obviously, I liked our program. If you didn't watch Patient Pilot and Avatar DC, please check it out. But I have to say, it's not easy to impress me in this profession much anymore. And I was impressed. I'll throw in, Jeff, you brought in our friend over at Wiggle. And I thought that whole concept was just fascinating. And it's like you said, Bo, I wasn't even thinking of it from these perspectives. And it was like, wow, what a great idea. So I am optimistic for our profession's future. I'm optimistic for your practice's future. I enjoyed what the leaders were saying about where they're taking the profession. Joe Ferrantelli and his program was, I mean, there's just awesome things being done. This is a power tool, and innovative people and companies are racing to figure out how do we solve the biggest problems and make it really easy to, address these issues. So whether it's coaching, whether it's marketing, whether it's doing videos and having an avatar, whether it's figuring out which topic I should be sending to my patients via email this week and coming up with your 12-month curriculum, the Patient Pilot, MLIQ. There's just a lot of different remote patient management apps going on. There's multiple. I'm inspired by the future, and I think technology is going to drive a lot of it. And I think we are opening our minds to just a whole new way of approaching, I'll say, everything in the world, including chiropractic.
Yeah, we got a question here. I also want to just give a quick special shout out to our global partners and sponsors. That included Chiro Converse, Dr. Joe Ferrantelli. That included Chiro Candy. That included MLIQ, Chiro Touch, and Prompt. So big shout out to our global sponsors for really making it happen. Jonathan, you have a great question over here. I'll read it out loud because we are recording this for some people that aren't able to make it tonight. So I'm a big fan of supporting our research community and bringing the great results from the clinical side into robust data collection so we can give the greats like Dr. Stephanie Sullivan and Dr. Heidi Havik more to work with. Is there anything from AI that can help the busy clinician support research better than we currently can? I see Bo raising his hand over there already, but I'm going to go right over to you.
So I think that when it comes to when we're looking at EHR, as far as the companies right now, I think what Prime Practice is about to do with Dr. Corey Frogley, because we all know him with Blue IQ and his ability to visualize data. From everything that I've seen, and this is even just conversations me and him have had, the whole purpose for him really creating this EHR is to validate what chiropractors have known for years. And that is that if I do this, this works. And he wants to see that at a very big global scale, meaning if potentially thousands of chiropractors are using his software or other softwares that link together, that we literally have live results that are happening every single day in our practice. And then I think, I love your guys' thoughts on this as well, but we're going to be able to utilize AI to crunch all of that literally real world time and start coming up with some more definitive guidelines, so to speak, as far as like what we can treat, how long we need to treat it, or healing times. Like, I really feel like the research is going to help validate more and more as we create more data. Even Tristan's coming up with this chiropractic results idea of him putting out research to validate what we're doing. So, I'm really supportive of that. Now, I will say that I think that there was a theme that went through this entire week. And that is, I wrote this down multiple times. AI will never replace chiropractors, but those doctors who are utilizing AI will replace those who are not. And the way I took that is that really what AI is doing is it's really exposing those doctors who have systems and have things in place and those who don't. And if you're a doctor right now, and and we all know this, right, guys? We have some of our friends that are making 7 figures a year, and other people are just barely making $50,000. Is that wherever you're at on that continuum, you can use AI right now to enhance your practice, and you got to build those systems. And with AI, it's never ever been easier before. I mean, not to plug myself, but that's literally the reason I created Chiro Coach, guys, is for like you guys to go in there and say, this is my dream practice. Help me build it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And AI will help you do that. And I feel like a lot of these other companies that are out there, they're raising their hand and they're saying like, hey, look, we know that a lot of front desk doesn't do a great job at answering the phone and booking. Check out this software. Hey, I know I'm trying to not really great at day one and day two. Try this AI software. So like, I think a lot of it comes down to we as practitioners need to just kind of have a realistic view of what we're good at and what we're not. And that's one thing that I was talking to somebody, they said, Bo, how can I utilize AI better? And I'm like, you really need to have a real honest conversation and figure out where you suck. Like, where do I suck? If I suck at day one and day two, find AI that does that. Do I suck at like my second time, meaning like I'm really good at getting them graded for the first 2 weeks, but my conversion into wellness or whatever care is terrible. Okay, so use AI for that. So in a lot of ways, you can use AI to plug holes in places where you would typically have to go and spend thousands and thousands of dollars to attend seminars and fly across the country. And now it can literally be done in an instant at a drop of a hat. So yeah. So let me ask you guys, where do you guys see, Jeff, Jason, AI moving more heavily to in the next 12 months? Because I feel like we're all kind of like, whoa, we were blown away. Like, Jason, where do you feel like this thing's going to shift and like lean in a little? Where are companies? Because you're really good at like reading the tea leaves even outside of chiropractic. Where do you think people are going to lean into more in chiropractic in the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, I think where it seems to have the most momentum and the most obvious use case appears to be there were multiple presentations of people calling and talking on the phone to an agent, a bot, whatever you want to call it, an AI that will actually do a better job than most people. I'm going to say, unfortunately, if training for day one and day two was hard, training your staff to answer the phone right might just be even harder. Over and over and over again, consistently, and with staff turnover. So that is one of the more easiest and obvious use cases. Jeff, I know you have a solution for that as well. The technology seems to be getting more, I'll call it trustworthy. If you trust a phone answering service, if you trust, somebody, a high school student, somebody you just hired from someone to say probably all kinds of what I'll call hallucinations that probably shouldn't be there. AI seems to solve that one pretty good. I think remote patient management is absolutely got legs. There is going to be some convergence. I'll pause and say that this research thing is a really important conversation. And I'll acknowledge John for the question. But my take on that part of it, as far as what's going to happen, is that I think that this has to be a convergence. And I'm going to say this from my experience. I had worked with Life University years ago with an AI company, about a decade ago almost, way ahead of the trends. But everybody wasn't able to connect and talk at the time. It was too far ahead of its time. And what I'm specifically referring to is there are researchers. You mentioned Stephanie, Heidi, and a long list of others. Well, they're the ones as the researchers that sort of have to drive what research and what data they want or need to do the research they want to do. Because on the other end of the spectrum, I've also spoken to companies, Bo, you have too, and you're referring to the EHR companies that actually have all the data. So it's sort of like a chicken or the egg conundrum that nobody's yet going, Well, let's bring them together and have chickens and eggs at the same time. And what I mean by that is the the EHR companies that basically have all the data from all the patients of all the doctors in their systems right now don't have the research background to know what to do with the data. The people that know what to do with the data don't have the data, and we got to figure out how to get them together with something that makes sense and will make a difference moving forward in the future.
Jeff, what do you think? Where do you see the trend in the next 6 to 12 months? Maybe in chiropractic, outside, or maybe like you said, the convergence of the two. What, in your opinion?
I think there'll be a lot of changes and consolidation in the paid ad space. I think a lot of people are already seeing that. That'll take place with independent companies, some of which were represented at the conference, and additionally through Google and Meta making their own and continuing to squeeze the agencies as they've done for a long period of time. So I view more AI tools going natively to these platforms that make it easier and easier for doctors to be able to run advertisements and be able to actually track that as throughput on the back end without having to have 1,000 different systems to try to extract unclean data. So maybe that's a hope, maybe more than anything else, but I could see that happening. The second one that I'll touch on briefly are some of the tools that everybody saw on the clinical tools day, the third day, which was clinical. So I think it's the tip of the iceberg. You have to remember in manufacturing some of these hardware components that the sponsors, vendors, and speakers were showcasing. Many of them thought of this years ago, and then they're buying parts and having them created. There's about a year to 2 year lag between, oh, I'd love to have this in my laser. I'd love to have this in my app. I'd love to have this in my insert whatever here. There's a lag time there from development to hardware costs to software production. So my expectation is that you're going to see a significant amount of chiropractic related clinical tools, hardware and software that over the next year will be adding on tremendous AI capabilities because they started working on it 6 months ago and it'll come into the market 6 months from now. That's probably a perfect time to mention we're going to host another one of these in 6 months. So everybody that loved what they saw, we are going to host a second Chiro AI Summit. The next one is going to be tentatively in May, and that's on purpose. And I'll wrap this briefly, but that's on purpose, and that's because this space is moving so fast. We expect a lot of the partners that you saw to represent, in 6 months' time with how they've adapted, how they've changed, the new things they brought on market, in addition to additional partner speakers coming on that we were in direct contact with that have some really cool stuff coming into their products, but wasn't exactly ready yet.
So I was thinking about this as I was watching this, and it's something that I've kind of heard about in the past. And I know, Jason, you're a little bit closer because you're up in the Bay Area than I am, but I feel this role as a patient agent is really going to move in the forefront. And I feel like this is going to impact not just chiropractic, but medicine as a whole. And what do I mean by the patient agent? I mean, we all wear these wearables. We have watches. We have phones. Like, I'm taking pictures. I literally have this app called Cal AI where I take a picture of my food and like breaks down the macros and everything. It's incredible. But I also think like when we have a patient come into our practice the first time, I mean, we have these questions, right? OMP, QRST, but like, and I'm seeing even hints of this with Joe Ferrantelli, what he's doing with his AI scribe. But like, wouldn't it be amazing just to have all of that data even before you met the patient? Like, oh, look, Mike has hurt his back 4 times. These are all of his x-rays. This is what it was last time. This is what, I feel like there's so much history still that we have to take from the patient. And a lot of the time, how many times have we heard this? Like, hey, have you had any surgery thing? No, I'm fine. Oh, okay. When was the last time you were in the hospital? Oh, 3 months ago when I had a double laminectomy. And you're like, I just asked you if you had surgeries. Oh, that's what you wanted to know about. You know what I mean? So like I think that the idea of a patient agent moving into chiropractic is extremely helpful. And I say that not even from the musculoskeletal side, but like being able to analyze nutrition and sleep and HRV and all of these things that we talk about, which kind of leads into your ideas, Jason, as far as like, hey, if Heidi and those guys tell us what they want, we can interpret it better. And I think there's going to have to be a lot of doctors telling them what we want, which can help them tell them what they want to kind of make this whole ecosystem kind of move a little bit. So anyway, that's my thought. Okay, I have one more question. I know we're going to probably go to about 6:15, and I love your guys' thoughts. If anybody that's in here, but if you were starting practice today, like right now, you were just starting practice, for the two of you and anyone else here, like, where would you start? Meaning, when it came to AI, like, what tools impressed you? What were the things where you're like, I mean, Jason, when did you start? How many years ago was it when you started practice? And I don't mean to date you here.
1997.
1996.
Two in front of it.
The late 1900s, people.
That hurts, man. Oh.
So if you were starting in practice right now, Jason, like, what would you be like? Okay, man, I wish I had this before chart notes and all the other, like, what would you like lean into and tell a kid right now that they should be learning about AI or figuring out when they're to run their practice? And you may not have the answer here, Jeff. Maybe you want.
No, that's a great question. You want to go, Jeff? You want to go something? Maybe not.
I'll tackle it really quickly. I think, I always think about things from a content and from a communication perspective. Maybe I'm stealing a little bit of Jason's thunder here. But so I really think utilizing it to get great ideas of how you can message things. Too many docs come out and they're just not speaking at the level of their patients. That doesn't mean dumbed down. It means appropriate. Just as the same as if I go into a, somebody who's an absolute expert in, blood biochemistry, I don't know what they're talking about unless they tell it to me in a way that I can understand. That doesn't mean that they need to dumb it down. It means that they just need to leave the breadcrumbs and leave the trail. So I really love AI from a application of being able to communicate more effectively at an understanding level that matches where your patient is at, which will be different for different patients, and being fluid in that conversation.
That's a great answer, Jeff. I'll dig deeper into exactly that. What I'm hearing is, what would I buy if I were starting practice to use? To your point, I would buy Avatar DC. I know this is self-promotion, but we built it because we believe it. Because we built it for a reason. There was a reason. There's no easier way to basically get quality scripting into a video of anyone, a chiropractor, saying really smart, research-backed things for video reels. So I would have reels going out, stories going out, videos, and the fastest way to create the most of them would be through Avatar DC. I would get some sort of phone system. Answering the phones is just hard. It's hard to get right. It's just hard not to go, that's an easy solution. And then I would invest time to make sure that it does have, I'll say, my personal nuance, whatever my sort of personality characteristics of my practice and me, I would make sure it's really highly customized that way. Weekly emails are a must. Patient pilot is a must. And I think, let's just acknowledge Bo and William here. I would do exactly what William just did, which was buy Bo's program. I'm going to read this just for the video and so on if you don't see the chat. So first of all, William, thank you. I assume it's William. Hi, everybody. So impressed with the summit. I learned so much and really like the format of digging deep into the concepts of AI in practice. I was particularly impressed with Bo's program. There you go, Bo. I purchased it, and in one day, have had access to more answers about how to streamline my practice than I have received from 3 different practice coaches during my decade-long chiropractic experience. I also like Joe's presentation on Posture Pro. I use it regularly, but was unaware of the depth of the tools available to me. You guys rock and make me proud of the direction and leaders we have within our profession. Let's spread the word and keep this quality content coming. So thank you for that. But Bo, I would buy your program, and I love chiropractic coaches. Many of them are some of my closest and best friends and have been mentors to me for years. But if I could do this, I have so many questions, always have. It's why I have so many friends who are coaches, is because I'm the most curious guy most of you will probably ever meet. I want to rifle questions. My goodness, if I had access to that when I was getting out, I can see the acceleration of learning everything I need to learn as quickly and easily as possible, being able to implement it. As you've said, Bo, I know this sounds very promotional for Bo's product. Buy it. It's stupidly inexpensive for what it is. But the value you can extract from it is immeasurable. So yeah, that's what I would do.
I think, and thank you guys very much
There you are.
for all of that. Is I think if I was a doc coming out right now, I was just having this conversation with my newest associate in my practice. I said, there's 3 levels that you work on your practice. When you first come out of practice and school, you're working in your business, meaning like you're learning how to run clinically day 1, day 2, all of those things. Second level is you're working on your business, and that is marketing, communication, those types of things like you guys are talking about. And I think thirdly, you need to work above your business. And I view that as like, why does my business exist? What am I trying to do? Am I happy being an associate my entire life? If I am, great. As 70% of chiropractors are. Do I want to have 20 clinics? What does that look like? And I don't feel like when we are starting practice, we ever get to that third level very often. We have our head down so many times that we're just trying to make ends meet, so to speak. And I think that utilizing AI, whether that's my program or ChatGPT or whatever that you're going to use, that allows you to pull back to 30,000 feet a little bit and kind of analyze and also realize the areas that you may not be, like I said, where you suck at, but where you may not be the most proficient, and use tools and use AI to help your practice in that area grow. I think clinically, man, AI is going to change everything. You just literally have to talk to it and like, it'll tell you what you're doing, not doing. I mean, I literally take pictures of like people's lab reports and just upload it to ChiroCoach now. And it's like, here's what it's telling me. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow, that is very impressive. Right. Or like social media. You guys are, we're trying to put out more content and content and content, but we still need to figure out what to say to put out the content. And you can go in and use anything, ChatGPT, ChiroCoach, and then you can use a program like Patient Avatar to literally do it with your name and face on it 100 times over, faster, better looking than we either of us can. So I think as a doctor, especially a new doctor, I feel like if you utilize and see yourself as a CEO, utilizing AI as tools, it will actually allow you to have a little bit more peace in your life. I think right now there's so much like AI this, and it's like you're running around to all of these different things, and you're not sitting back and realizing, okay, I own this company at whatever level it is, right? Even if I'm an associate, but this is my company if I own. Let's put some structure around this. Working above, working on, and then working in. And if you break it down into those 3 things and you just want to attack one of them every day, you're going to be so much further along in your practice in a year's time than the average chiropractor is in 5 years of time. And I think that's kind of what it goes back to that comment is like, you guys just leverage this thing, just speak to it. That's like, Tony Evil said this over and over again. We were talking and I said, at the end of the day, we always think, AI is a one-way conversation, meaning like when we go on Google, right? Like, give me the best Chinese restaurant in San Francisco, and then it like lists it for you, right? Well, now what AI is asking you is like, well, what type of Chinese food do you like? Do you like spicy, not spicy? Do you want to sit inside, outside? Do you want tea? You want a dimly lit environment? Like, it's asking you all of these questions. And it really is up to us as the user to have those conversations back and forth. And once you kind of start establishing that, AI gets to know you. And yes, ChiroCoach is built to know you over time. So if you start using it today, and in 10 years from now, it's going to grow with you and it's going to know all those conversations just as ChatGPT does. And it's going to know what your favorite Chinese food is. And I feel like that is really how the smartest doctors are going to leverage AI to really help their practices. Find the right person for your practice, right? Because there's not one chiropractor for everyone, but speak your truth, speak the demographic that you want to work with, and then utilizing those to help grow your practice in the manner that you want your dream practice. So that's what I would tell young docs, at least, so to speak. So Jeff, what do you think?
I agree with everything you said.
Best part of working with Jeff. I agree.
Yeah. I concur wholeheartedly. The biggest thing that I would say for everybody that joined the Chiro AI Summit last week was, find that company, find that product, find that speaker that resonate with you. Maybe your experience and you start diving in 6 months ago and you're saying, man, I'm ready for it all. Like, I'm cherry picking and adding a lot to my practice before the end of the year, so we're ready in 2026 to hit the ground running. Awesome. if you're a doc, maybe that's heard about AI, but been skeptical, scared, what the heck is this? Maybe you choose that one. Maybe you choose that two. Maybe you just choose that starting place, right? And we're going to keep on giving you opportunities to be able to understand how the leading companies, the leading speakers, the leading products and services are utilizing AI. And the beautiful part is you get to adapt at your own speed. So that's why we highlighted through EHRs, through marketing, through clinical, and even leadership on the fourth bonus day, really the opportunity for you to be able to cherry pick. And I will give a shout out to all of the VIPs, because those on-demand videos are going to be evergreen. So one, if you are a VIP and had any trouble with access, please just email us in. You can email support@thesmartchiropractor.com. We'll give you access. A few questions people had were, oh, do I lose access after a couple of days? No, you have continued access, and we encourage you to go back and view those on-demand videos. And we also have that discount guide with over $25,000, as you heard me correctly, $25,000 plus in discounts available for VIPs. So we're wrapping up the ability to access that very shortly. So if you have not accessed VIP, now is literally the time to do so. So you can have the on-demand videos and be able to get access to $25,000 in discounts, where pretty much nearly every single speaker had some form of a VIP discount that'll offset the cost of that times a multitude. So there are a couple exceptions to that, but it's a pretty robust guide with a lot of opportunities there. So I think the most important thing is, regardless of where you are on the continuum, as Bo outlined, maybe you're early in practice, maybe you are stepping into that CEO role, maybe you're looking at it more from almost an investor point of view, building your portfolio. That's why we highlighted these in the way that we have. So you're able to choose your own adventure, because the same tools, just as Bo said, that is not a chiropractor. It might be a chiropractor for individuals, but not one chiropractor for everybody. The tools that we showcase for you, some are going to resonate, some not as much today. That's why we'll continue to showcase them, and you have the opportunity to get access to the discounts, get in, get started, and really start utilizing this for the benefit of two things: your patients and your practice. That's really what it comes down to. The goal is to enable you to be able to deliver the highest quality care, whether you're buying a marketing tool, whether you're buying a clinical tool, whether you're utilizing your EHR. This is all about helping people, but it also is not at the expense of your own life and your own health and your own sanity. AI really gives you the opportunity to help people at a higher level, and when done right, it also gives you the opportunity to do that and create a little bit of space for yourself, a little bit of breathing room, both mentally, time-based, and hopefully financially as well.
I have one question for those of you who are watching right now, and I kind of feel, I'll be honest with you, that we may not have done a good job at what I'm about to tell you. It is, and Jason eloquently described this, and I feel like we didn't do a good job. Let me explain it. Is that when you get a VIP discount like this, it's a 6-month opportunity that you guys are getting. It's not like a lot of times people run flash sales, right? It's like you have to buy it now in the next 24 hours or it's gone. Like, these companies that have worked with us are literally determined to help you guys in practice get the best prices and deals, as well as they want you to use their software. Like, I personally want you to use ChiroCoach, and it's not because like I'm trying to make $1 million, is I want to know how I can make it better, because this is all brand new and it is AI. Like, literally, I was having a conversation with the people at ChiroTouch earlier, and they're like, man, this is great. Then when a bunch of people come in, they're trying it, but the feedback is what's so good to us. We're learning how these people are using this. And I'm like, that was kind of like the thing. I'm like, that's exactly what it is. We want to know what people and how, because here's the reality of it. We're in the baby infancy stages of this. Is like internet 1.0, what it was like HTTP, www, and like your hard coding stuff. Like, if you've never built an AI product, it's not easy, guys. Like, it's literally not like you can talk it into existence anymore. It takes a lot of timing. So I'm curious if you guys, if you can throw it in the chat here, like, did you understand that when we made this offer to you, like for VIP, that we're literally trying to get you guys the absolute best deals? Like, Jason, when he called these companies, he's like, so here's the deal. We're putting on this summit. We want your not only good deal, we want your absolute best deal you've ever gotten, because we can bring people that can use your software and tell you what's going on, and we will get the feedback for you. So we did it, and I feel like we priced it at a point where, like, if you bought one thing out of any of those, it was going to be well worth your time and in your investment. But really what we're trying to do is get people to utilize AI because we know it's going to help their practice and it's going to help those other companies as well. So Jason was like, it's like a Costco membership. And I was like, oh, we should have totally told them that. Like that was Jason, you have nothing to talk about that?
Yeah, well, I guess I would ask both those watching, those on the replay, to give us the feedback. Our goal, our vision is to get you the most amount of information about the tools you want to consider so you can preview them, review them, learn about them from the convenience of your phone, home, internet connection, anywhere, and get the best deal. That's the agenda. How do we get all the people you'd consider buying something from without having to get on a plane, go to an event, pay all the prices, all the hotel nights, get your whole team. But how can you see everything you would consider buying as quickly and easily as possible and get it at the best price? And that's really the vision for this, what I'll call marketplace. It's a product showcase. So my question is, did you buy anything? I know William did. Great job. You did. But I will just blatantly encourage, please purchase from our sponsors. Please say, saw it on the summit, saw it on the AI Summit. So we can continue to basically do what we think is a service that is long overdue, matching buyers and sellers in this format to see what you need to know in order to be able to make a buying decision as quickly and easily as possible from the convenience of your home or office at the best price is a vision that all three of us are seeing this can be. And we hope you'll help us get there. The content is designed to get you what you need to know to make a great buying decision and know and have the confidence you're getting something at the best price. Hopefully we've done that. So if you bought something, William, you've already started that, let us know. If you're watching the replay, reply to one of the emails. I think all of the emails come back to us in some way. Reply to one of the emails. Give us your feedback. I liked it. I didn't like it. Here's my recommendation. I bought something or several somethings. Here's what I bought. That gives us great feedback. Let those people you're buying from know that you saw it on the summit. Thank them for being a part of it, because that's the vision of what we want to build moving forward. And if I were to, give advice to anybody watching now or in the future, pick something. It's easy to get overwhelmed. It's easy to go, wow, there's 6 ideas and things that I have that I like. But Jeff said it, I'll just repeat it as we sort of wrap things up. Pick one thing, implement it, get it in, feel good about it, train your team on it if it's necessary, and then take the next thing, implement it, see results. Great. And then the next thing, implement it, see results. And that should be a learning process that doesn't end. Hopefully you'll buy them through the vendors here at the event, but the principle is the principle. We should all be constantly learning. They say, people who've been in practice for 25 years sometimes have 25 years of 1-year experience, and other people have 25 years of experience. And that all depends on you and how much you continue to be open-minded, ask questions, learn about new technologies. It's easy to get overwhelmed. I'm assuming if you're here, you're not one of those. But help us get more chiropractors involved. If you are part of a company or you're friends with somebody who's part of a company and you think this is a good thing for them to get involved, help us help you and more chiropractors moving forward. We welcome your feedback.
Right on. Bo, closing thoughts before I wrap it up. What do you think?
Yeah. I just want to say thank you guys for all of you guys, and just honestly special thing out to Jeff and Jason. Like when we first sat down and talked about this, we were like, that's a crazy idea. And then it was like, can we do it? And then we said, well, someone's got to do it. Just like anything in chiropractic, someone has to step in front. So, my heart goes out to these incredible gentlemen. And I honestly, what I'm going to tell you, I believe down to my absolute core and soul is that they do this for all the right reasons, guys. They are here. We are all here to help chiropractic at the end of it, right? Like, you look in this world, we're a small band of brothers and sisters in the profession. And we're doing this because we know the message we have can help more people in this world. And we see the opportunity with AI. And to echo just really quickly what Jason was saying is this is a place where we want you to come and figure out and experience the ways that you can help build your practice. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. So I just want to say thank you for you guys for bearing with me. And, you know, you guys don't know this. There's like 2 a.m. text messages, which are like late. And then there's like 4 a.m. Oh my God, it broke text messages. So there's about 2 hours in the last 3 months where we've been good. But no, it's been a lot of fun. And I look forward to doing the more of these with you guys. And thank you to the community, man. You guys responded well. Like we were like, how many people are going to show up? And we're like, maybe 300 or 400, you know, over 800 doctors registered for the very first one. So that's pretty cool. That definitely shows that there's some demand and that this is something that you guys want to learn more about. So we want to continue to give that back to you guys as well. So thank you again, Jeff.
Very well said. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the first Chiro AI Summit. We are super excited to say the first because there will be another one. So coming mid-2026, if you have a speaker that you'd love to see, if you love a technology you'd love to see highlighted, or if you have your own company and you say, I want to be a part of it, please reach out to us. The sooner the better. That ensures that we can maximize each and every opportunity for you. So whether you are a speaker, a sponsor, or a doc making decisions in your practice, or maybe as some of the docs, a little bit of everything. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you so much for being a chiropractor. On behalf of Dr. Jason, Dr. Bo, and myself, thanks for joining us tonight. Have an awesome day, and we will talk to you very soon, and you'll see a lot more about AI and chiropractic. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
If you want to make your practice easier, more profitable, more fun, and experience more freedom, then check out Patient Pilot's weekly reactivation emails to pilot more of your past patients back into your practice. Check them out at thesmartchiropractor.com.